Doug, let me ask you, it seems you hearing the president there, it seems odd now in hindsight, sort of hindsight 2020, looking back at the first few weeks of his administration last year, trying to fix Gitmo as one of the reasons. Why did it seem that it needs Scott Brown to wake this administration up from its slumber?
Well, it took an ordinary man who didn't have support from anyone in the Washington establishment, who was traveling around in a pickup truck, who was against big government and against the health care plan, to say this doesn't work. And Massachusetts, which is only 11% Republican, responded, and it was voters across the political landscape who said, we've had enough.
So it's not just Republicans, and we know the independents swept him into office.
Even some Democrats.
And even some Democrats there in Massachusetts. Senator, I'm curious why, Republicans, we have had a long line of Republican senators here on this show say jobs cannot be created by the government. They can't. A president can't create jobs. But now it seems that Republicans are rallying around this idea that President Obama is out there now talking about jobs, and many of them saying it's about time he's talked about jobs. What changed?
Well, look, I mean, the president's done a good job of creating jobs here in Washington, D.C. The two lowest areas of unemployment are here in southern Maryland and northern Virginia, have 5.3% and 6.3% unemployment. But the rest of the country is around double digits. So he's done a good job here. He hasn't done a good job anywhere else. So he can create government jobs in Washington. But I don't think Republicans should be going to say, boy, I'm glad Barack Obama is talking about jobs again, because what he's talking about is more government. And that is not going to solve the problem. Republicans need to come up with their ideas and say, look, we need to get government out of the way. We don't need new regulation on banks so banks don't lend more money. We need to have lower taxes. We need to have a pro-growth strategy and get Obama on the right page for American jobs.
What do you say to that, Doug?
I think Senator Santorum is right. I think the American people are saying we want to put aside the partisanship. We want both public and, most importantly, private sector jobs, tax cuts, tax incentives to stimulate the economy, because if unemployment is over 10%, I can tell you the midterm elections will be a disaster for the Democrats.
Senator, what do Republicans take away from this victory, trying to sort of forge a national strategy with the Scott Brown strategy? Can they do it? Does it translate to South Carolina?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's a very clear message. I mean, that's the beautiful thing about Scott's message. It was just very direct. I mean, you heard in the previous segment him talking about, it just was very common sense. Look, we know how things work in America. It's not big government. We need limited government. We need lower taxes. We need, the government to be on the side of business, not fighting business, not creating regulation. And I think on the health care issue, what Brown noted that was very, very important. Look, we cannot solve, the president's agenda was not to solve the health care crisis. It was to take over the health care system.
Yeah.
And if you look at what happened after the election, even President Obama said maybe we need to scale it back and just look at things to fix the current system and instead of trying to replace it with a big government program.
10 seconds, last word, Doug.
Yeah, the Democrats have a wake-up call here. Unless they recast their approach, focus on jobs, limited government, and changing the culture of special interest politics in Washington, they will fail.
We got to leave it there. Rick Santorum, Doug Schoen, always great to see you both.
Thanks very much.